Hello, and welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. It's your man, Curt. Today is Monday, January 30th, 2023. Man, we almost done with the month already. Man, it was just 2023 last week. But on deck for today's show, man, we discussed the possibility of Brad Holmes making a big splash during the free agency period. LL updates you on Aaron Glenn and his head coaching job opportunities. And Coach Mike asks, is re-signing DJ Chark going to hurt the development of J-Mo in the Lions offense? But before we get into all that, man, it's time to bring in the rest of the crew. First up, man, y'all know who it is. It's that lady's pet. That's me and Grit. You ain't seen nothing yet. The highest player from the Himalayas, y'all. My man, LL Cool Thomas. What's going on, my guy?
What's on, Prowl Nation, and good morning.
Man, and y'all see him, man, with a new, fresh setup, man. On there in Jackson, Michigan, the boxing pride. He will coach your kids. He'll cook you a meal. Man, he'll change your tires and cut your hair. It's my man, who?
And I'll whoop your ass. Coach Mike Holmes, online fan.
Let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let's go.
Detroit Lions talk, baby. Welcome back. We intact, all three of us, three of them things, man. So go on and kick it off. Curt, let them know what's up.
All right, first of all, man, thank you guys for the well wishes. I was down, sick, had the flu bad, but I'm back. I went on vacation and got sick, but shout out to Val, man, holding it down while I was gone, man. You guys, doing your thing, holding it down while I was out on vacation, out a little sick, but glad to be back, man. Like my man Greeny say, we back and better than ever. So let's get into this topic for today, man. Brad Holmes, man. He got a decision to make, man. The Lions will enter the 2023 season with a projected $18 million worth of cap space. Now, it could get up to around $35 million or more if Detroit makes some moves, like cut players like Michael Brockers, Charles Harris, and on defense, and then Big V on offense. Because you look at these guys; these are aging veterans, and the Lions play great with some younger, cheaper players. So I think they may be looking at getting younger and cheaper going forward. And those players took up a lot of cap space on IR. If you look at what we had, man, with Big V and Charles Harris, it took up a lot of cap space, and then Brockers. Y'all know how I feel about Michael Brockers, man. That joker just didn't fit the scheme. He didn't fit what the Lions were doing defensively. And he was more of a coach and a cheerleader than he was anything for most of the season. So I think the Lions can add some talent in this year's draft and get even younger with the players that can mold into the culture. That's going to be kind of hard with some veteran players, right? You bring some guys, a big splash player in free agency, man. He got a big name. That can have a big head to go with it, too. We were talking about, oh, man, these guys were talking about while I was going, bringing in Jalen Ramsey. That was the big rumor. And then some people were talking about, I think we should go after a guy like James Bradbury, who will be a free agent. That big name comes with, not saying all the time, but it can come with a big ego and a big, like, hey, I'm the man. Your guy signed me. I'm here to do whatever, yada, yada, whoop, whoop. And, you don't fit into the scheme. And Amon-Ra St. Brown already done said, and he a young player. He said, if you don't come in here and ain't what we about in Detroit, you can roll. So if you ain't fitting the scheme, these players in Detroit aren't going to be welcoming. Isaiah Bugg said that this is one of the most selfless teams he'd ever played on. And he wants to come back. And he said he'll take a pay cut to come back. So I think that Brad Holmes, he's already said it. He plans to stick to the script when it comes to free agents this year. What does that mean? He means he's going to re-sign the guys that earn a second contract in those prove-it deals, trade wires, and waiver claims. And he's going to look for those players, kind of the same type of guys that are gritty, tough, selfless, and want to play for a team that is that. I don't think the Lions making a big splash in free agency this year. I think it may happen next season when the Lions are getting ready for a Super Bowl run. What do you guys think about the Lions and the possibility of making a free agent splash signing this year?
I mean, I think if it's out there, they might make it. Just because Brad Holmes is aggressive. Brad Holmes is aggressive, and if he see a piece, that's the missing piece, I think he gonna go get it. You see what he did with Jamo last year in the draft. He went and got him. You know what I'm saying? He traded up with Division 4 to get him. So I just don't think it's out. I don't think it's out the way, man. Because the Lions are right now on the cusp. Because you can't tell me the Lions couldn't beat the Giants or the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? So the Lions are right there at the division. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on with the Packers. Probably Aaron Rodgers. The Lions are right there. Like they could have won that Super Wild Card weekend matchup, and they could host a playoff game. They win a division. So if they're right there, he might pull the trigger. He might. I'm not saying he will, but he might pull the trigger if he thinks that'll get us over the hump.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've been saying it. I feel like he'll trade some shit to get some shit. That's what he wants. And that was an excellent point. Like we all know about the trade, but if you just add that tiny bit of context that he traded up with a Division 4 to get J-Mo. So yeah, it ain't no telling what he gonna do. So I don't. So if sticking to the script is doing, we don't know what the hell, then yeah, he gonna do that.
I think for me, he's been aggressive in the draft, but if free agency, that hasn't been the case though. He's been signing guys that's kind of like okay, that probably prove it guys that want to like revitalize their career, or like guys that he knows that are kind of that tough and will fit the scheme, personality wise of what the Lions are doing. Look at Isaiah Buggs and the John Kaminsky, those guys waiver wire claims, or guys like that. Or if you look at maybe a DJ Chark who's wanted to revitalize his career, same with Anzalone, same with Charles Harris. You know what I'm saying? Those guys he brought in, as far as the pro player department, those guys have been that kind of like gritty, tough kind of. I want to reestablish myself in the league. Now the draft, he was like, hey man, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna move up.
Even in it ain't the same as free agency, but another divisional trade, with TJ Hawkinson and whatnot to swap out the second round pick. So
yeah,
but I will say that I wouldn't in free agency. I think he'll stick to the script to answer the question. In free agency,
yeah,
I think he'll stick to what we've seen so far.
Because
I think this might be the time. I think this might be the time for that. The big splash, but I don't know who it would be because maybe Deron Payne, but that's gonna cost a whole lot.
Yeah. Like he might he might just stick to the script, but possibly he was handcuffed with the cap situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The cap situation didn't really allow him to do nothing. Like Quinn messed that all up. Yeah. So so the injuries this year back right off that. Yeah, but, so I don't know. I don't know. He could stick to the script. He couldn't. He might be aggressive. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, some aggressive dudes, man. They might go in. You be like, what? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. But looking at that, I'm just saying, like, if you look at the Hawkinson thing, what did he trade him for? He traded him for more draft capital. So that's my thing. I think he's trying to build this team through the draft. And I don't see him going back into cap hell after getting out of cap hell. That's just my thing. My thought process. I could be, because even with the trade if we trade for Jalen Ramsey, that's going to cost him, because he's going to want a new deal, and that's going to be around $20 million. And then of course we know people work the cap magic with bonuses and signing bonuses to stretch it out, and workout bonuses and all this stuff and the guarantees and yada yada. But I don't know, man. I don't see it this year. But it could be a thing where a trade could be possible where we're one piece away, and we're looking at, if we're in that, like you said, Mike, at the division, we're at that time where we can win the division this year and host a playoff game and be able to make a serious deep playoff run. It could be possible. But hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, man. It's great to be back with you guys right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. The family discussion topic for today: will Brad Holmes stick to the script? He said he was. He said he's going to stick to the script when it comes to free agent signings. But Who knows? So let us know in the comment section of the video, man, what you guys think. Will the Lions general manager Brad Holmes stick to the script when it comes to free agency, man? Hey, go ahead, man. It's a whole bunch of sales over there going on right now over at fanatics.com. You see I'm rocking the gear. I'm rocking my JMO t-shirt. I got the 2022 road sideline cap on, man. The draft caps are coming real soon. So go ahead, get yourself some gear. Fanatics.com, links in the description below. Man, you see him on down the screen, man. Coach Mike will hook you up with your Wolverine gear, man. He gonna sell you a shirt. He gonna cut your hair. He gonna coach your kids. He gonna do all that stuff, man. But he gonna get you some gear at Wolverine.com. Links in the description below. Check us out over there on LionsNationUnite.com. They help you bring this content. So check us out on Lions Nation Unite. You can download the app in the Google, Android, or Apple App Store for your mobile devices, or you can just go and type in LionsNationUnite.com on your web browser. And make sure you check us out on Detroit Lions on the Prowl.com for some different content from us. And while you're over there, you can click on the link for Lions on the Prowl shop.com. Double back to LNU and go to LNUshop.com and get yourself some Lions Nation Unite gear. LNU gear is always game day over there in that shop, man. So get yourself the real, not the fake over there on Facebook and Instagram. Why would you buy a shirt they don't even sell? Makes no sense to me. I'm just saying. And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And of course, Thirsty Thursdays is always going down on my man LL's Instagram page.
Oh, yes,
man.
it is.
It's always going down, man. You got Thirsty Tuesday, you got Thirsty Wednesday, but it's always going down on Thirsty Thursdays, man. And ladies, you know what I'm saying? I know he's working on it. He got the developers out there for the mobile app for the t-shirt Tupperware exchange. So stay tuned. It's coming, man. You know what I'm saying? So get your best recipes ready for the t-shirt Tupperware exchange program, my man LL Cool Torrance. And do your part in the fight against cancer. Make sure you go over there and hook up with my man Big Lion Man and get yourself some Roll Up gear and help the American Cancer Society of Michigan and grab yourself some Roll Up gear, man, and help that fight against cancer. So we done all that, man. Let's get into the rest of this content, man. LL, man, talk to me about what's going on with AG, man.
A real brief check-in on, the possible, the landing spot, the possible landing spots for our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, if he decides to take a head coaching job right now. And this info is coming from an article on PrideOfDetroit.com, but they have listed our Aaron Glenn's, he's a candidate. He's currently a candidate for the coach job and the Cardinals job. He has interviewed for the coach job, and they have this. So I guess this article may be a bit older, but they say he has an interview scheduled for the 21st with the Cardinals. But I have since heard from multiple sources, I guess you could say, just from multiple different Detroit Lions podcasters and stuff, saying that he actually has a second interview with the Cardinals. So I don't remember exactly what date they said. I believe it is this week, but he is, I guess, one of the more serious candidates for the Cardinals job. After, I don't know what the process was with Ben Johnson, but after a while, he just came out and said, I'm turning down all the rest of the jobs. I'm just going to come back to the Lions. So we haven't heard that yet from Aaron Glenn. So maybe he ready to test those waters. And I don't blame him selfishly. Again, I keep saying that I want him to stick around. I feel like he could build this thing into something crazy, but I understand. Coach Mike said it best the other week. Can't turn down a raise, man. Might want to be the best raise. They got some decent pieces over there, and maybe they feel like he's decent at helping a team build back from the ashes. So, shout out to Aaron Glenn wherever you end up landing. Of course, I would like you to come on back, but if you don't, best well wishes to wherever you go. But again, this is just a quick check-in on Aaron Glenn and his possible landing spots if he decides to take a head coaching job. What do you guys think about that?
I think Aaron Glenn remains in Detroit, man. I just think that the longer this stuff goes on, I think that the longer it's a possibility that he comes back to Detroit as a defensive coordinator. I think he's a good coach. I'm going to be honest with you, and don't shoot the messenger, but this is what I feel. I think he's a Rooney Rule interview. I think he's an interview. I'm It's
So Rooney,
ejected.
is it
Yeah.
is it a Rooney Rule for the second interview? Because you're probably right, but
I think he's a Rooney Rule interview. If you look at what's going on in Indianapolis, I think Jeff Saturday's still the leader in the clubhouse.
it's rumored that Irsay really want Jeff Saturday.
Yeah,
but it's rumored that Jeff Saturday may not want that job.
Yeah, and Arizona, right? Here's my thing with Arizona. I will be cautious about that opening in Arizona. They did the same thing to Steve Wilkes as the Texans did the last two times with David Coveney and Lovie Smith.
Yeah, Lovie.
He got
Covey
one.
And Lovie. Look
he got 1 year with Josh Rosen at the quarterback and got fired. And they replaced him with a guy who was losing in college with Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury wasn't a great coach at Texas Tech. He had a losing record, and they brought him in. So I'm not saying that they're the same type of ownership as the Texans. But here's my thing: they got a lot of big names on that roster, and they just paid their quarterback a big contract. They're gonna have some cap issues soon. Yeah. And even though it happened with the head coach out there from Denver, went to the Jets, Glenn still had the last ranking total defense in the NFL. Now, I'm not saying that makes him makes him a bad coach, but I think he has some things he needs to develop before he take over the reins of a team. That's just my thing. I just think that he needs to get a little bit better at being a defensive coordinator. I know being a head coach is a different thing. And I say he doesn't have the leadership skills to be a head coach, but sometimes you just need to develop, you know what I'm saying? And I think he needs to develop a little bit longer before he takes over a head coaching job. That's just my thing. But like you said, Coach Mike, if they offer him the bag and it's a serious offer, it is what it is.
You know what? At first, it was a running rule, but I think he got the second interview because they just like what he said. He's like a Dan Campbell type of guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like corralling the troops, motivator. He's that Dan Campbell type of guy, man. And one thing I think that the NFL is switching to more offense, but if you look, they got so many good players on that defense over there in Arizona, man.
A lot of them is young too.
Yeah, especially on that back end, because you got Buda Baker on that back end. You got Zayvon Collins on the linebacker. You got
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons. So man, that defensive line is still nice. So they might be like, man, he might be the missing piece because maybe Kingsbury couldn't get the defense right. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they looking like we could be more of a defensive team, a defensive stopper, and you know what I'm saying, and do that. And Aaron Glenn is the perfect guy to get those guys motivated. So that might be why they gave him a second interview. I don't know. Like at first I thought it was a Rooney Rule, but they're like a second. Okay, now you're making me nervous. I'm gonna say the N-word. See, I'm a like, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, man. But, I don't know, man. That second interview though, that raised the eyebrow, like.
Yeah. But the only thing with that is they had a lot of young players, and their contracts are going to be coming up all at the same time. That's another thing I'm talking about with that cap situation, where you got to have some guys that are established with some big names on that defense. Look at the going of the guys they got rid of. EIE out there in Philly, who went back home to Philly making the plays last night in the game. So I forget the young man's name.
Hassan
Reddick, yeah. So he was out there. So you look at that. You got that big contract out there with DeAndre Hopkins, that they're looking at getting rid of him. So, I'll put like this. Even with the defense, you're not going to have your top quarterback for probably most of the season too. Is that a situation you want to really go into? I'm not saying it's not, but I'm not saying it is either. But hey, man, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, man. Hey, thank you for joining us right here on Detroit Lions and the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. And Coach Mike, now I said this a while ago, and y'all were like, nah, but you bringing this back. So what you got to talk about for DJ Chark?
You know what, Curt, you did say it, and I was thinking about it for a while, man, and I was like, man, is DJ Chark gonna hurt the development of Jameson Williams? At first I said no, right? Because I'm like, JMO need to learn from Chark, he need to learn the game. But when you look at how explosive he is, you're like, man, shit, he can learn the game. You know, when he running by people, man, what he got to learn? You can't teach speed. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like accelerate here, and then he goes 0 to 100 like real quick, like Drake said, real quick, real quick. Man, will it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but it's a question that has triggered me to think, man, because JMO, if he traded up for JMO and with the division partner, he must plan on featuring JMO in 2023 as the man. And do you put Josh Reynolds on the other side? You know what I'm saying? Or what about Quintez Cephas on the other side? So it's like, man, one of them dudes get cut. But the only thing is, the little caveat is, Jared Goff formed a little rapport with your man DJ Chark toward the end of the season, man, and we all know don't start Goff's comfort level over again, please. You know what I'm saying? Please don't make that boy nervous. You know what I'm saying? Please, like please don't make him nervous. That boy get the pump there. He hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let it smoke. Throw that thing. Throw that. Don't make him. Don't have him doing that, man, because that make me nervous, man. So what do y'all think, man? I mean, I'm so up in the air with this DJ Chark thing. I think honestly we should bring him back. I think we should bring him back and line JMO up on the other side, and then we got speed upon speed on the outside, and I think that's how we need to roll, man. And Quintez Cephas.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. The only thing I think that may stop the Lions from signing DJ Chark, because I think he may demand a bigger payday than the Lions may be willing to pay. I think he's a good vertical threat, and he has some excellent catches in the middle. He kind of developed that intermediate game with Jared Goff and Ben Johnson. JMO is going to need that one-on-one time with Jared Goff this offseason to develop that chemistry they didn't have this season. Now, Williams is much more than a vertical threat as well with his speed, because you can toss him a 5-yard slant and it's to the house. It's a loaded wide receiver room, and it's possible that Chark may take some snaps away from JMO because he's an established starter. You got Reynolds, Raymond, and Cephas already under contract. So who's the odd man out? I think it will be Chark. For some reason, it's telling me that it could be Chark because he's playing that same role that Williams is going to play in the offense, and it could stunt his growth with Jared Goff and the offense itself, because you look at what they gave up to get Jameson Williams,
right,
and the talent he has. The fans want to see JMO on the field, and if it's something where Chark is in the way of that or somebody else, somebody got to go. I don't think it's going to be Reynolds because that's his whoopee, and he's cheaper than DJ Chark.
Shouldn't be.
He's cheaper than DJ Chark. But you look at the wide receivers we had. That wide receiver room is full. It's full.
Mm-hmm.
It's full, and even in something telling me it's going to be Chark. It's going to be Iron Man out. I just think he's going to get a bigger contract somewhere else. What you got, LF?
I agree with you on that, because I think the last time we spoke about this, I thought he was sticking around for a while because of that contract or whatever, but
it was voided.
Yeah. So maybe they did it to give him a better deal here. Maybe they did it to allow him to, go get paid somewhere else. I don't know if DJ Chark is going to be here, but I don't think he's going to hurt the development of Jameson Williams, because one of y'all put me onto that, I believe, because I was kind of thinking, like with just seeing him doing or getting some of the looks that like Khalif Raymond was getting or that DJ Chark was getting, but they all different receivers. Like even y'all threw Quintez Cephas in here. I know he's the slowest of the bunch, he's still a different type of receiver. You know, all of them guys we named, even Reynolds, like he's a speed guy, but he's a lot different. Like he's a little bit more smoother. He kind of remind me a old school Keenan. He's a taller, but he remind me of Keenan McCardell. If y'all remember him, he kind of smooth with it. He ain't really a burner. He just do what he do fast. But so all of these guys is different receivers. It's a spot for them all, but I don't know if Chark is going to be here because I think he might can get paid somewhere else. So, and congrats if you do. I want him to stay because we need that chemistry that was built. But hopefully, if he does go, hopefully he decides to go early so Goff can get with the other guys and get it down real early.
Yeah, because you look at what Goff did with the receivers this offseason, and Williams wasn't, because of the injury, he wasn't able to be a part of that. So if you look at that, I think Williams was gonna be right there with Goff out there in California with Amon-Ra St. Brown, all those cats. They're gonna be out there with him, building that rapport. So I think he's gonna get a chance to do that. Because they didn't get a chance this year. They just didn't get a chance because of the Williams injury. And the coaching staff was like, nah, you're gonna sit your ass down until we get you gonna do what you tell you to do.
Ain't gonna be holding on football no more. He about to be out there.
Yeah, so I just think that I think that for some reason I think Chark is gonna be the odd man out. I think he's gonna get a contract somewhere else and it's gonna be. And the fans want to see Williams, man. Y'all see how they was checking that dude name in for a field. What I'm saying? Once he got back in uniform, they were like, J-Mo, we want J-Mo. And if you got a guy that's sitting in front of him, like a DJ Chark who's more experienced, that ain't gonna bode well with the Lions faithful. The one probably want to see J-Mo on the field. Hey, man, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, man. Have a watch party with your homies on your separate mobile devices. You know how Coach Jones said. You know what I'm saying? You can all run around with your smartphones. What you got?
I was watching ESPN yesterday afternoon. Was they pregame coverage. If any of y'all watched it and caught it, they said the same thing Coach Mike be saying. It was like, I forget how they said it, but it was like put them on all your screens, watch it on different screens. So somebody they're stealing our marketing schemes out there.
They up on our PR
woman on ESPN. I can't think of the woman, whoever the host of their little Sunday. It was the woman one.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. All right, so let's go ahead, man, and do what my favorite thing to do for the show. I miss all this all the time, man, when I'm not here. Let's go ahead and get into what you guys had to say about the last show. It's time for the comment cards, baby. All right, Rob Newsom says, I would love to have Ramsey, but it depends. I'm not paying him the bank. Yeah, I ain't paying that dude the bank either. He getting around that 20. He getting that 28, 29, that 30. Yeah. And his numbers have declined every year too. I'm good on Ramsey.
Right, yeah, he just a tad too old for me. Doug Michael Roostein says, first, I'm leaving it to home. I mean, that's what we're gonna do anyway. Brad Holmes has the whole picture. This year we found 75% of our D line and maybe 50% of our linebacker room. We got 50% of our DB room. Okuda came back from serious injuries. Kirby was a newbie rookie. Tracy Walker was our defensive quarterback. OMG, we got 5 picks in the first 80. Perfect place to draft exactly what this team needs. Get the best cornerback early and defensive lineman, linebacker, safety, or another defensive back, guard, running back. Ramsey is not homegrown to this culture. Of course, because a lot of the guys this homegrown to this culture just made it to the NFL, but I think he is a tough, hard-nosed football player. I think he would fit, but again, he's too old. He's gonna cost too much. So,
and Tracy Walker.
Thanks for the comment, though.
I love Tracy Walker's Instagram videos, man. Yeah, dude, he running. He running. He's sprinting already. That's what I'm talking about. I'm loving that.
Ooh-wee.
Jeffrey Inglesby says, I say possibly yes to Jalen Ramsey. Only after a deep and thorough physical evaluation. He's got to fit the culture. Word. And you know what? I'm gonna say that on that, man, is Darius Slay left the Lions at about that same age, and he got his bread a little bit, and he's first team All Pro. So this year, so I'm not gonna discount it.
I'm not agreeing with the psychological evaluation type of deal. I got you with the culture fit, but I don't know about no. Come on, man. You
Stop being cheap.
Yeah, you can miss me on the psychological evaluation type thing. You miss me with that one, but okay, I feel you, Jeffrey. All right, John, and that's his name, just John. He says, I'm a longtime watcher, and sometimes I get in my feelings the way Val would talk about our beloved Lions. But today, watching Val, I must say it warmed my heart to hear the way she spoke of our team. I hope you are finally becoming more of a Lions fan. The ultimate goal is not for you to be a Bears fan first and a Lions fan second, but rather to be a Bears Lions fan equally. That ain't gonna happen. I know Val. That ain't gonna happen now. The Lions will always be secondary to the Bears. That's just me. And I wouldn't expect anything else because
and I was gonna say they should be.
That's how I should be. But Val, shout out to Val, man. You know what I'm saying? The queen of the Prowl, man. She does big things behind the scenes, man.
Y'all know how this go. It's like it's fun, man. If we ain't have Val to talk junk about the Lions and y'all didn't have me to talk junk about golf, how would this show go? You know?
Yeah. You gonna talk trash about anybody.
That you gotta know that, baby. Curtis Lee said no trade for Ramsey, signed Bradbury in free agency, used 18th pick, draft Bijan Robinson to finish the offense. I don't know if I want Bradbury neither. I'd rather draft a corner. If we gonna get a corner, I might as well draft one.
I'd rather have Spoon than have Bradbury. That's me.
I'd rather have a couple of those guys. I mean, ain't nothing against Bradbury.
Spoon, Gonzalez, it's a couple cats.
Yeah. I personally like Joey Porter Jr. And I was wrong. I like to say when I was wrong. I had said I thought I had heard it was Joey Porter that played the most snaps in press coverage or whatever it was. I was wrong. It's actually Devin Weatherspoon. And they said he allowed like 1 yard or some crazy ass stat. He allowed like 1 yard and however many press snaps. So, there's a lot of good names out there.
Both of them cats are physical corners. I like both the way I like both of them game. I like Porter a little bit better because he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And
his daddy, Joey, I don't know. I feel like Joey Porter is like
nasty.
A picture. You want to talk about a picture of a football player? Joey Porter plays some some good old football. But and then 18 on Bijan Robinson. I don't know. I honestly don't care if it worked. Maybe not, but it might work. I don't know. But we'll see. Thanks for the comment, Curtis Lee. And that's Kurt Dog namesake, Curtis Lee.
Yeah.
Kurt Lee.
If you draft the guy that high, then that means you got to give him touches, man. You got to give it to him. And I don't know.
Nope.
Brent DeWitt says, loved everyone's take, all good points. Ben J, to my Ben Johnson, turned down one of 32 jobs in the world. Smart man. Bigger payday for him after he does some serious damage in the playoffs next year, Super Bowl. You know what, man? I know people like, it's a possibility, man. When you think about the leap that the Lions took this year, and we knocked out a couple of playoff teams, the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Giants. I mean, we right there, man. So, hey,
and some of those teams
might be.
Some of those teams we just didn't beat. We beat the brakes. So it is what it is. Hey man, thank you guys for leaving the comments, man. Now it's time for everyone else's favorite segment of the show. It's time for dessert with your man Curt, brought to you by Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. If you like how they look, you will love how they taste. Hit the link for the Facebook page in the description. If you don't do the Facebook thing, go over to TikTok or Instagram and put in Delightful Bites in the search engine of those apps and see all that beautiful dessert footage. Delightful Bites. Get your cookie on. Khalif Raymond, man. Khalif Raymond, according to his agent, earned up $1 million in incentives for his contract. I mean, what? He earned over, and this is what his agency, which is Intersports Management, so proud of Khalif Raymond earning all pro honors, all the hard work earned him over $1 million in incentives and escalators. Keep doing your thing. And this is coming from his agency. I mean, you look at that thing, he earned second team all pro. He had career numbers in receptions, yards, punt return yards, special teams player of the week toward the end of the season. And that's going to get you those bigger bonuses, man. So shout out to Khalif Raymond for earning that cheddar for his play on the field, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Do your thing. And we got him for a contract, under contract for another year in Detroit, man. So go ahead and keep doing your thing. And that's your dessert. What's your man, Curt? Brought to you by Delightful Bites. Delightful Bites. Get your cookie on. Now it's time to close out the show, man. It's time for final thoughts, man. First of all, thank you again for all the well wishes. And I'm glad to be back here on the show with you guys, man. I miss it all the time, man, with my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, man. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. And we're back. We're going to be rolling this thing right into the draft. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it's coming. So what you got, LL, for your final thoughts for today's show?
Final thoughts out there. Have a great Monday. Be kind. Shout out to Miss Val, man. We hold you down over here. Lions, Detroit Lions on the Prowl. So everybody out there, just say some kind words to Miss Val. Have a great Monday.
Right on. Hey, Curt. Don't do that shit no more, man. don't take no break, none of that. You done. You done with your vacays. You done with your sicknesses. You done with all of that. We
got another cruise coming up in like 2 more weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm just playing, man. But we glad to have you back. Shout out to Miss Val. Man, we just doing this thing, man, and we trying to get more subscribers. So help us out, man. When you watch this video, share it to a friend. Just hit the share button, man. Share it. Send them something on Messenger or a text message or whatever, man. On Twitter, just help us out, man. Help us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself.
Okay, hey, man. For me, I don't see the Lions making a big splash on it, but he could surprise me. So and Aaron Glenn, best of luck to you wherever you end up. I hope it's back in Detroit doing your thing on the defense, because I saw a big turnaround that second half of the season. If we can continue that and you get some younger talent and you get some the guys back healthy like Tracy Walker and, get some help in that on the cornerbacks, could be some big things next season. Definitely. You bring back some guys like a Deshaun Elliott, who fits that type of Viper role, big safety, small linebacker type of role. And you look at that, man, and we can add some depth at linebacker. There's a couple linebackers I want to see a Lions take a run at in the draft. So, that guy, that one dude out of Alabama, if he comes out, yeah. But we'll discuss all of that, man, when we start doing our draft coverage here real soon. But we're going to look at some free agency guys as well. So stay tuned, man. We back in the building, man. Like to say, back and better than ever right here in Detroit Lions, and probably your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's Monday. The grind starts today, man. Like my man LL say, have a great Monday. If you're feeling overwhelmed at work, take a step back, regroup yourself, man. Ask for some help if you need it, and then get back at it, man. And thank you for having lunch with us, man. So get this napkin. Wipe them crumbs off your face, man. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.